This is session 4 of your traffic and SEO training. In this session, you're going to learn about press release marketing and also WordPress SEO so you can have a fully optimized WordPress blog.
So the first thing I'm going to touch on is online publicity benefits. So basically, publicity, it's an inexpensive way to promote your website and build your credibility. And, that's one of the important factors that I love so much about press releases. It actually really builds up your business's credibility because a lot of people look at press releases as, kind of an authoritative thing because they think that big businesses, are in the news, that kind of thing. It enables you, when you're doing this kind of online PR, to actually set yourself up as an authority type website. And, gives you an authority, helps you build backlinks, which we'll touch on here in a bit. But press releases serve a lot of different purposes for you. And it's one of these, I guess you could consider it almost an offline marketing technique, but we're actually going to be focusing on online. But using some of these strategies I'm sharing you with press releases, I've actually been featured in newspapers a couple different times, in newspapers and radio shows for just a standard affiliate website, believe it or not, because of the way you can spin the press release to your media, and you can get some great traffic that way through newspapers. Press releases can really increase your sales, give your website more exposure, and help your website get traffic for many years down the road, and it will really enhance the image of your business. Just like I was saying, a lot of big businesses use press releases, and so, you're on these high authority sites, you're on sites, even like Google News and sites like that. Your business can appear on those by utilizing these strategies. And one thing, I mentioned your site can get traffic for years down the road. A lot of these sites that I'm going to talk about submitting your press release to, they will stay out there for, 5-6 years. I've got press releases I submitted for some of my very first clients when I was first doing work for people 6-7 years ago that are still starting to show up, that are still on the internet for their business name, that are still actually driving traffic to their website. And, that's over, we're going on 6+ years now there. And that's just for work you did one time. So just like all the other things I teach here, it's so much better than regular advertising because it's not like every month for the last 6 years that business has had to renew their press release or something. Basically you submit it and it's going to be out there, and so it's going to help you grow exponentially because the more of these you can get out there, it's all about quantity and quality, but getting some a large amount of these press releases out here. And I'll show you how to spin things so that you can write a bunch of different press releases for one website. So the internet is where people are going for their information, so you definitely want to leverage that. And so that's why we're going to basically, all I'm focusing on here is online publicity instead of offline, because anyhow, people access their news online now anyways. And so, basically that's what you want that's the key component right there. So press releases and website traffic. Press releases can help build backlinks to your business, which helps with SEO. And as you guys will recall, in one of the first trainings where I talked about search engine optimization, I talked about backlinks. And basically the importance of backlinks is that they kind of act as votes for your website. And so the more votes that you get for your website, the more authority your site's going to look in the eyes of Google, because they look at that as a factor, and the better your site's going to rank overall. And so submitting press releases using the strategies I'm laying out here is going to help you build backlinks, and on top of that it's going to build exposure, build up credibility. All these things are going to be working synergistically in your favor to improve your business. And so press releases are a big component of your marketing campaign. It doesn't matter if it's just an affiliate site, if it's a site selling physical products. It doesn't matter if you're a chiropractor in Tulsa, Oklahoma, trying to get traffic to your website or to your business. It really doesn't matter what kind of website business you're running, what kind of business you're running. You can leverage press releases on the internet to really get some good traffic going. One other thing, I touched on that helps really get you some website exposure on these high traffic sites, and these sites already have a captive audience. And what's interesting with some of these sites I'm going to share with you is there's actually news agencies that do browse these sites. There's actually journalists and such looking for stories that will actually appear on some of these sites and may get in touch with you, and you may end up running your site somewhere. But the main reason you're doing it is, it's a great thing if some news agency picks it up, but really the key component here is you want to use these press release sites to get high rankings in the search engines from the backlinks, get more exposure, and as I'll touch on, I have a final point that I'll touch on that. Press release sites are read by bloggers and other people looking for story ideas as well. So I talked about, journalists and things like that, but also, just your average bloggers in your niche. People, wanting story ideas for their website will look at press release sites as well. So if they like what you have to offer, they might get in touch with you, and it might be another opportunity to, build exposure for your business. They might even take the press release and copy and paste it on their own site, which is allowed with a lot of these sites because they're just like the article sites. So that's certainly a component there that you want to consider. The press releases themselves can even rank high in the search engines for really good niche keyword phrases. So you can actually, using the keywords in the title of your press release, and I'm going to touch on that in the following slides, you can actually see an improvement in your rankings by actually having the press release itself rank in the search engines. And so it's just one other factor you can use to kind of help get more traffic through the search engines onto your press release, which then builds up your credibility, is what the press release does, which then again encourages them to click. Kind of like we talked about with article marketing. Search engines, can pick up these article directories and pages very well, and so people go in, they read your article, they see your authority on the subject, they like what you're talking about, they click on your resource box. I haven't even had a chance yet to talk about social book marketing, video marketing, and podcasting, but they're all the same concept as well, and those are later topics. And the same thing, applies as if they were to find your website through the search engine, if they find your press release. And so I hope you guys are starting to see how this all kind of works together for you in a good circle. So what is a press release? A press release is an announcement of an event, performance, or other newsworthy item that is issued publicly. So basically, it's a way, and I grabbed this, canned response online, just so you guys know. So basically it's an announcement of an event, performance, or other newsworthy item. That's really the best way to sum up a press release. I was trying to think of a better way to say it, and that pretty much sums it up right there. So that, hope kind of gives you an idea as to what we're talking about. So it's basically a short write-up talking about your company, website, and or services, again, talking about what you offer. It might even be something as far as talking about something within your niche. So let's say that you are in the pet supplies niche and you want to talk about, a new type of automatic pet feeder that's, that's becoming popular among pet owners. And so you want to do a press release on that. Or maybe it's maybe you're a golfer and you want to talk about a new brand of putter, that's coming into the industry. And so it gives you an excuse to write a press release to kind of, bring up a newsworthy topic. Maybe it's something that's actually going on in the news right now, and it's somewhat related to your niche, and you can write up about it. We've got a lot of talks about, poor economy, this, bad investments, blah, blah. You could come up with, my affiliate marketing business is thriving in tough economy, whatever. So you kind of get the idea. You can spin news angles as well. So some ideas, for a press release. Let's say you just redesign your website, you even redesign your logo. Believe it or not, that could warrant a press release. Now, I'm not saying you're going to go take these press releases and you want to blast them out to your local newspaper, because they could really care less, honestly, about your new logo. But the reason I'm telling you to use these kind of deals is because these press release sites will pick it up, and it's just another excuse for you to get yourself out there with the press release, to get yourself a little more exposure. So the more of these you can do, and I'm not saying just spit out a bunch of junk, but I mean literally the more of these press releases you can get out there based on your niche, it's going to help you. It's going to help build backlinks, but also that authority, get you that exposure. And that's really what it's about. It's all about exposure and getting as much content in as many places as possible, and that's really what traffic's about. It could be, that you just posted a new product review. I've done press releases where I actually was reviewing an affiliate product, and it worked quite well for me. And, basically, I just, basically said, name of the product review reveals interesting findings. That was like my title of my press release. So, so depending on the product you're promoting, let's say, it's the West program. West program review reveals incredible findings, or Instant Form Pro reveals amazing findings. Traffic generation blueprint system review uncovers amazing secrets, something like that. And that could be used as like a, as your product review, if you're doing a press release on that and you wrote up a product review. And, basically, you just position yourself as an expert. And this is kind of a nice little subtopic here for you guys to chew on, and that's basically, leverage yourself and say that you are an expert, or your company or you yourself are an expert in reviewing digital products. People don't know. Just tell them that. That's, in the press release. That's what I put. I put Paul Counts is the owner of Count on Us LLC, which is an expert, in internet marketing and reviewing internet marketing products, And so I built up the authority in the press release. I talked a little bit about the product and why it was so great in my quote section of the press release, and I'll talk about some of these things here in a bit. And, basically just talked about why this was a great product, and then, said that on my website I give a detailed review and to go check out my site. And that got me a lot of traffic. So those are some ideas you can do. Maybe you made a new blog post, and I'm not saying do this on every blog post, but maybe you spent a lot of time on a really good blog post. Maybe it was like the top 10, maybe you spent a lot of time on 50 ways to promote your website. Maybe you put a lot of effort into that. And so you launch a press release that you put out an article or a free blog about, 50 ways to increase website traffic. So that might be something that I could do to get more people into my program, for example. Something you could do, maybe it's, maybe you have a pet website again, so you're going to talk about, 25 ways to comb your dog's hair, whatever it is that you decide to write on. You could do a press release, so-and-so, whatever.com announces or launches an article, or hot article on 25 ways to groom your dog, whatever it is. You could even angle that article into a press release, basically, is where I'm getting at. And then it might be just an opinion you have, so it might be kind of what you're feeling. You kind of put out some quotes out there, so I could do something like, people are, Paul Counts says economists are crazy, that might get people some attention. And then I talk about how, people are still buying things online and people are still spending money online. I don't know what they're talking about. And I could talk in that manner, so I kind of give an opinion about, something big in the news like I talked about, but spin it for your niche, that kind of thing. So kind of be like kind of a rebel, but, don't, obviously say something stupid, but, just kind of be kind of a rebel in a way if you want to, kind of stand out from the crowd, because they're going to be like, well, that's interesting, this guy says economists are crazy, why does he say that? Why does he think that? And, give your opinions that way. So there's some ideas for press release topics, very basic. I mean, really, you can spin just about anything into a press release, so keep that in mind. And a press release, all it just needs is to have an angle. So it just needs an angle of some sort, and an angle is basically the direction that you're writing your press release. So it's the purpose for your press release, so to speak. So how do you write a press release? So first thing I talked about is you want to develop your angle first. So basically the angle is going to be the topic of your story. So before you start writing your press release, you need to come up with, okay, what is a subject that I'm going to write about concerning my niche? And since most of you, this will be the first time you're writing a press release, your first press release is typically going to be something about, announcing your website. Maybe it's announcing your free report. Like every time you set up a squeeze page and you give somebody something free, that could warrant a press release. Almost every time you make an informative blog post, that could be another press release for you. So when it's your first time, it's usually going to be announcing your website to the public. You're just going to be publicly announcing your website. And so your angle is going to be around your website and around your niche. So that's an example of your angle. So you want to create a newsworthy title for your press release that includes your keywords. And the reason I say kind of a newsworthy title, and it doesn't mean it needs to be newsworthy as far as the Wall Street Journal is going to pick it up or New York Times, but it needs to be newsworthy to the effect of, of something, to the effect of let's just say, I designed my new website. So a press release is not an article. So that's the point I'm trying to get across there. And so, your press release and article are going to be a little bit different, in how they're structured, and I hope you're going to see that here. So that's something to keep in mind. So your regular old article title may not work as well as, for a press release. So keep that in mind. So that's why you kind of want to have some sort of an angle to position it and spin it so that it can come off as kind of a news story. And some of these press release sites will actually delete your press release if they don't feel it's newsworthy. They've actually had that happen before. So it's, so then I learned real fast that you need to just create newsworthy titles for your releases. And when I say include your keywords, I'm going to give you guys some examples here in a bit of a good press release title, but you want to include your keywords, and if you can, include it the first part of your press release, but at least try to include it somewhere in your press release. So, if your press release is how to refinance a mortgage, that's your niche, so So you could come up with your website, mortgagesecretsinside.com, whatever the domain name is, announces, how to refinance a mortgage, ebook or something like that. So you get your keyword in there. It's kind of slightly newsworthy because you're announcing the launch of a free ebook or your ebook, whatever it is. And, that gets you started in your title. The next thing is you want to write an introductory paragraph that lays out your press release's point. And so, that's going to be your first sentence. Your first paragraph will be 2 or 3 sentences made up of just you simply talking about what your press release is about, why you're writing your press release, the purpose of it, whatever your angle is, you're going to address that in this first paragraph. So whether the angle is, I am, launching a new website, then go ahead and put that in there. So that would be like the angle of your press release, so-and-so, Paul Counts, or your business name, if you've, turned your business into a corporation, is announcing the launch of their new website, www. Whatever, and then, basically give like a feature of this website. This website's main objective is to help people learn how to do this, this, and this with this free report that they're giving away on their homepage, that kind of thing. Write 2 to 4 paragraphs for the body of the release as well. So the body of the release is very similar to the body of the article. It's just basically some information. And when I say put quotes in there, I mean, quote yourself. And I'm actually going to read a press release that I wrote here in a second. But basically you want to quote yourself. So come up with some quotes that you as the owner of the website could be making related to your niche. Build up your credibility as well by putting your name in there. So, so it says John Smith, owner of www.thiscoolwebsite.com, and then, so maybe say a quote or find a statistic about your niche and quote that statistic or something. And, and basically say, we're striving to be customer oriented with our great review website, says John Smith, owner of coolwebsitereviews.com. John added, there's a big need in the golf niche to have great golf review, ebook review websites. Just come up with some quotes for yourself. Use that to kind of excite people about going to your site, so maybe talk about your free report, because what's interesting with press releases that I found, and this is an important point I'm about to make, is that with press releases, they don't want you just to be advertising your business based, yes, you are kind of advertising your business. That is kind of the purpose. Let me rephrase that. But they don't want you to be pitching throughout your press release, because that's not a good press release anyways. But in the quote part, I found that it's a great way that you can actually pitch what your ideas and feelings are, because a quote is different than like just the written part of the press release. The press release has got the core details of who, what, why, and where. And those are important things to know, who, what, why, and where, kind of the main keys of journalism. And who, what, why, where, and I think I said why, yeah, sorry. So basically those would be, the kind of the written part of it, or the text-based, the article, almost the article style of it, so to speak, where you have the details, the detail area. And then the quote part, where you're quoting yourself, that's where you really sell people on why your site's the best, why you have a great review site, why you created your site, why you have a passion behind your business, or whatever it is, and encourage people to check out your site in there. And because that's perfectly okay. And I found right there, the press release sites have no issues with you when you're quoting, kind of the sales pitch part, so to speak, the call to action almost. So there's no issues there. And so definitely want to put quotes in there, because it'll build your credibility, give you a chance to maybe pitch a little bit more about your business. And not that you should just, tell people your site's the best around, but just tell people, different components you have that kind of set you apart from the competition, maybe, that makes your site better in a way, so don't just say my site's cool, but add some value in there about why your site's better, or why you did what you did with your site, and kind of use that in the quotes if you can. And I found quotes are a great way to kind of expand a press release, because sometimes the details are kind of small, and you want to try to have around 200, at least 200 and some words. 250 is the best way to go, and if you can get it above 300, you're going to be in really good shape. But above 200 for sure. You want to try to strive for at least 250 if you can. So sometimes if I'm short on words, I can come up with a good couple of quotes that I'm going to say about this website or whatever I'm writing about for my client, and you can really fill in some gaps right there. So that's how you go ahead and write your press release. and then you want to include at the end of it just a short closing paragraph. And in that short closing paragraph, that's where you just say, for further information, call your phone number if you want people to call you, or excuse me, don't put in your email, because then you'll get all sorts of spam deals. But check out my website. Now, I made the mistake once of silly me, but I submitted a press release online with my cell phone number for my pet niche, and you guys are probably gonna all go run out there and find it. But anyways, this in the pet niche I was in, I had all sorts of phone calls, coming in, like just from customers and just different things, requests, or just random calls, and just stuff, like basically stuff that my number shouldn't have been used for, kind of thing, and that was a mistake I made. And so so one of the best things you can do if you really want to have a phone number, make sure it's like your office line that you aren't going to always have on you, kind of thing. So but in your closing paragraph, include your phone number, include your website link right in there. It just basically, it's not like you're saying, check out the site for great information, because that sounds a little salesy, but just say for further information, www. Because that's how most press releases end anyways. Basically, think of your press releases as like a news story, and you're going to be just fine. If, read the newspaper. If you don't read the newspaper, then go ahead and, go online and look at like usatoday.com or something like that, and see how they structure their news articles, and that's kind of how you should write and position your press releases. And it's also not a bad idea to check out those news sites, because you can see what kind of topics they're writing about, and you might be able to spin a lot of those topics for your niche. So keep that in mind as you go about writing your press release. So here I'm going to go ahead and show you guys real fast a press release that I wrote. Alright, so here on the screen here I've got a press release that I have written, and this press release is about Tulsa, Oklahoma chiropractors, because as you will recall, that's the little website that I'm promoting for this example, which this site still ranks on the first page, even though I have, what's funny about it, and I don't recommend you do this, but I launched this site without any relevant content, but it's still on the first page for its keyword phrase, so it shows you how easy it is to rank for a lot of these local terms. And this site's, like number 2 or something in Google with the site with no content on there. I just launched the site. I have a good domain. I have title tags placed correctly, and we did like a ping on it or something. But, that site's still ranking on the first page. But this is a press release I wrote up about this website. I'm going to actually add a few pages of content, because what I'm actually going to do with this website, and this is a model you guys are actually going to learn at the end of this course, but I'm going to actually take this website, once it's got some rankings, I'm going to be contacting some local chiropractors in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and offer them, to buy the website for a certain price. And so we'll see how that goes. I'll report back to you, but that's basically the strategy there of what I'm doing this for as an example for you guys. But basically, to go back to the press release, this is a short press release that I wrote related to this business. I'm going to actually expand the font a little bit so you guys can read it if you want. This will also be available in the back end of the website, so you guys can actually take it, use it as a swipe file if you want to. Whatever you want to do, take it and submit it yourself with my URL in there. That's fine too, but it'll be there as a swipe file if you guys want it. So basically, Tulsa, Oklahoma chiropractors are hard at work adjusting the city of Tulsa. Notice I kind of used a play on words there, because chiropractors do adjusting, So, if you want to try to be kind of creative, I'm not the most creative marketing, artsy kind of guy, but sometimes I get creative. So, but anyways, the website, TulsaOklahomaChiropractors.com, shares information and resources related to finding a good chiropractor for your next back or neck adjustment. And then I go into saying, in a quote right here, our goal with this website is to give website visitors access to a variety of information and resources related to finding and choosing the best chiropractor in Tulsa, Oklahoma, said the owner of the website. We understand that every day more and more people are going online to find information and find chiropractors in Tulsa, so we created this resource for them. The site features a new design that allows for an easy way to find information and resources that will help in finding a reliable chiropractor in the Tulsa area. And I'm almost done. I just want to read you guys so you guys kind of see how this flows. The owner of the website also pointed out that a new article will be coming online soon that discusses the common myths people have with chiropractors. And then I go into saying a quote, rumors and myths about chiropractic care have been floating around for years, and so hopefully this article will help shed some true light on this topic. He mentioned that some of the myths people have are related to the safety of neck adjustments and the fact that people think you have to seek care for the rest of your life if you have a back issue. These concerns and more will be covered in the new article to be posted soon. For further details on finding a good, reliable Tulsa, Oklahoma chiropractor, you can go online to www.tulsaoklahomachiropractors.com. So there you see it's very basic, very bland. I mean, this is a very basic website that I'm promoting here. Yet I was still able to spin a press release with my keyword phrase in there. Now, what I did in there that, you guys should do, and that's include your name. I kept saying the owner of the website, and there's a reason I did that for this example, and that's because I do not want the name Paul Counts, in this case, associated with Tulsa, Oklahoma chiropractors, because for one, that's not my niche. Two, I'm not a chiropractor. And three, I'm going to be selling this business to chiropractors, so I don't want my name. I don't want a fake name. I don't really want any kind of name on this press release unless it's that chiropractor's name. And so that's why I went ahead and did that, just so you guys are aware of the logic there. So if you're going to do this, eventually, like take everything I'm teaching you and set up little mini niche websites for different local businesses to sell, and you're doing the press release, don't really include your name in there because you're not really going to be the owner of that site for long if your intention is to sell it. So that's why I did not put my name in there. But in your case, wherever I said the owner of the website, that would be right where you would insert, says so-and-so, so-and-so, your name, John Smith, owner of, or John Smith, president and founder of, whatever it is. So there is a brief press release for you to look at. And that will be available in the back end again for everybody that wants to see it. So we're just going to jump back here, and we're going to be talking about writing a good press release title. So how to go about writing a very good press release title. So try starting with your targeted keywords, like I talked about. And you want to also include the angle of your press release, so the topic of your story in the title. So here's some examples of what I think are good press release titles. You guys may not think so, but these are just some ideas that I put together, some good examples that you guys could take from and kind of spin however you want to. So there's that one we just went through, Tulsa, Oklahoma chiropractors adjusting the city. The core keyword there is Tulsa, Oklahoma chiropractors. Golf training aids website reviews top products. So that's kind of the keyword phrase there was golf training aid, so I included that into the subject line. And if you're wondering if this is Black Hat, this is not Black Hat or anything at all. This is just basically, you're helping the search engines. This is the content they want to give. They want to deliver that content. You're going to put it on these different websites. They rank these websites. So you're just being smart about how you are positioning your press release and your information, because what a lot of people make the mistake of, and I used to do this a lot, where you put the business name first in the press release, or you put just your business name and you don't have any keywords up there. Well, that doesn't do you much good unless they're looking up your business name. In some cases, you want to have kind of your business name up there because it's a good way to kind of because sometimes as people become more famous in an industry, people there's always a hater for every, I've always go by the rule of thumb, a third of the people love you, a third hate you, and a third care less about you. And that's a philosophy I've gone on, and that's usually true out there. And so the third that hates you sometimes will go out there and say stuff bad about your business or who you are as a person or whatever it is. And so you can kind of cover that up with press releases. It's a great way to kind of blanket yourself. And, another way to brand yourself and use that in a beneficial way, with your name up there, your business name kind of thing. So, so basically, with your press release title is, put in your core keywords there up there, because the press release sites are, again, considered authority sites, and search engines rank them well. And the reason goes right back to title tags. Remember I talked about title tags being so important. I talked about it during the article marketing series, during even the first, where I talked about the 24-hour traffic plan. And in the SEO call, obviously, I talked all about title tags. I'll probably, every single call, probably bring up title tags because they're so important. Well, these press release sites naturally will take your title of your press release, most of them, and they will automatically put that in as their title tag when they publish your press release. And so that's why you want to include your keywords up there, because they're going right up there in your title tags. So here's a few more press release titles for you to look at using, using the title or the keyword in the title. Now, you want to get it as far to the left, the keyword phrase, and the reason is because Google reads left to right, and they'll put authority on it, more authority if it's to the left. But if it won't flow to the left, put it in the middle, put it at the end, whatever the case might be. So like, bird watching binoculars, that's a keyword phrase that this press release could be targeting. So I just took the subject, best bird watching binoculars revealed online. That's kind of a catchy press release that'll get people to read probably if they're into bird watching. Dogtra training collars on sale today. The Dogtra training collars, they're a brand of dog collar, so there's the brand name Dogtra training collars. That's the keyword phrase. weight loss tips website fights back against obesity. So weight loss tips, there's the core keyword phrase in your title of your press release. So hope this kind of gives you guys some ideas, when you're writing about your niche. And use what I've talked about with keyword research tools. I brought them up now, I think on 2 or 3 calls now. The AdWords keyword tool, just the various keyword tools that I keep addressing. There's a reason I keep going back to those. And so I'm not going to cover that on this call because we've covered that 2 or 3 times now. But use those keyword tools to come up with your core keyword phrases to use within the titles of your press release. Here's another one, WeFit in stock online at WeFitAvailability.com. That's my website if you guys want to check it out and buy a WeFit. But basically, WeFit in stock, that's the keyword. WeFit in stock online, those are 2 actually keyword phrases in one right there. So notice how I got the keyword phrase, plus I was able to brand my domain name. So that's another idea you could do. So you could do bird watching binoculars online at WeFit, or online at birdwatchingbinoculars.com. Whatever the case might be. Golf training aids online at golftrainingaids.com. So you kind of brand your website. So you can kind of see how you can take these options, pause this slide, when you're on it, and just start watching this again so you understand some good titles to use. Here's a good example, of your press release introduction paragraph. I'm going to just let you guys read this again. I'll read it one last time. This is what I actually just read when I addressed the entire press release, but I just want to show you guys for your introduction because it's such an important part, and it's the easy part for you. But basically, Tulsa, Oklahoma chiropractors are hard at work adjusting the city of Tulsa, and a new website has been launched to highlight a Tulsa, Oklahoma chiropractor. The website, then I give the URL, shares information and resources related to finding a good chiropractor for your next back or next adjustment. Very basic, 2 to 3 sentences will do the trick. You just give them the main points of your press release, the main points of your topic, and you just go to town. So, 2 or 3 sentences, and then you just easily just go in giving details of your website, giving details of maybe, what you have going on. So maybe you're launching an ebook. Maybe you're launching a freebie giveaway. Maybe you inserted a product into some special giveaway event, or maybe, whatever it is, you can spin a press release about it for your niche, maybe, again, it's the blog post idea. So I hope you guys just, get the ideas going. Maybe you have a special webinar coming up, or a teleseminar, or free training, or whatever it is. You get the idea there. So the next thing we're going to talk about is submitting your press release online. So I'm actually going to go through and submit my press release online to one of these sites. Now, a great one to submit your press release to is prweb.com. But I want to caution you on that one. You probably aren't going to want to submit every press release there unless you have a big budget. They do cost some good money. If you do like their $80 option, and that's kind of like their $80 option is good. They have a $200 option that's really good. It gets you a lot of places. But this site really gets your press release out there. It's a really high authority site. It really gets it out there, I will say, because it will mass distribute it to a whole bunch of other sites that you can't really submit to on your own, that only they can submit to. So they have a good network, but it's really best served for whenever you launch a new, maybe it's a new product or a new training platform, and you want to spend $80 or even up to $200. They even have a $360 option. They'll go out to the Associated Press. And if you're going to do that, I just want to caution you so you guys don't come back and say, and yell at me because you felt like you got ripped off. I'm cautioning you, don't do it unless you have the money, for one. But also, only do this if it's something that's really newsworthy that you're really going to get some benefit from. And by that effect, I'm meaning, if it's you giving an opinion that might become kind of a newsworthy thing that might go viral, submit that. If it's like the launch of your entire training system, maybe that's a good opportunity to submit it. And you probably won't want to do the AP release unless you, the AP release, unless you really, really have something that you feel is newsworthy, then you would consider that. But it will get you a lot of traffic. I'm not going to lie there. It'll get you a lot of traffic. It's just a matter of a budget thing, So just like, pay-per-click, that'll get you a lot of traffic. But, only use it if you have money, So, but that's prweb.com. I included that one because, how could I not include it? Because it's so authoritative as far as press releases go. But all the other ones I'm sharing with you are free. Some of these do have an upgrade option, and you can kind of leave it up to you if you want to choose to upgrade them. I've actually found some of them give you some really good benefits for like a $20 upgrade. You can actually get some really phenomenal benefits that you can get from PRWeb. Not as many distribution points, but still some decent, some decent results from it. So if you have a little tighter budget, maybe consider one of these sites and choosing their upgrade option. Now this site right here, it's the worst domain ever, but it's actually a great site. I've talked about it before. It's got dashes all over the place, but it's a very high authority site. These press releases will rank really high. Like in fact, this is the one I recommend in the 24-hour traffic plan that we first went over. And the reason I recommend you submit to them is just because they get picked up so fast. I mean, and I'm actually going to submit to them right here. So I'm actually going to go ahead and open up this press release and show you guys how to submit a press release. So we are here on free-press-release.com. Now I want to let you guys know that all press release sites, they all don't look the same, but they look very similar. So what you're going to be looking for when you first get to a site, you're either going to be looking for a register button or a submit press release, submit release option. And most of the ones will have like a submit release or submit option, and it will tell you if you're not logged in, so therefore you know that you need to have an account. So in this case, I'm just going to log in to this particular account. Let's choose a different one. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and log in here. And you're just going to choose on the left side here, submit a press release. And this is just a test account I have. So you've got here a free press release option, or you have a premier release option. Now, the premier release, it's only $1, so it's not that bad for you to do. And it gets you exposure on their homepage, so it's not a bad idea. So if you do want to invest some money, you could go with the premier release, plus it will give you an active link to your site. Because I will say though, just because you're submitting a press release, not every single one of these sites will give you a live active backlink. The majority of them will, but it's also more or less just more to get your site more exposure, get your name more exposure, and that's why you still submit to all these press release sites. So for this example's sake, I'm just going to choose the free option. I can upgrade it later if I really want to. And just choose next. And almost every press release site is going to be laid out similar as far as when you submit it. They're going to have a title option, a summary option, and a news body option. So the title option here is, we're just going to take that and plug in, Tulsa, Oklahoma chiropractors adjusting the city. So there's our title. And then the summary, I usually just take the first sentence or so. First 1 or 2 sentences if you want for the summary. You could come up with your own unique summary if you really wanted to. It's not a bad idea to do that, but just for time's sake and ease, I just usually just take the first paragraph. And then the news body. Now, one thing I do with the news body, just like I do sometimes when I'm submitting, if I'm submitting articles manually or if somebody else is, I recommend that you open up a notepad file. So I've got my notepad file up here, and I recommend that you paste that, copy and paste that notepad file, into your notepad file, because what happens is you notice how it kind of all jumbled everything together, so there's no separation for paragraphs, and that's why it's really important that you go ahead and put it into Notepad so you can clean this up really easily, and then that way you don't have to clean it up on every press release site. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean this up really fast. If you really want to be able to see it quickly, just take the word wrap off, and then every one of these lines is going to be a new paragraph for you. So once you have that, just go ahead and keep the word wrap on, and then you just copy it all. I just hit Control A to copy it, and Control C, or you can highlight it all. So by taking the mouse and scrolling over it, I just want to make sure this is easy for you guys, that you highlight it all, you right click, and you choose copy. So again, I right clicked and I chose copy, and I'm going to go right back to the press release website, right click, and choose submit. So what you're going to do after doing that is go ahead and scroll on down here and put in the little verification. Most of them have a verification option. This case they ask for tags. So the tags would be like keyword phrases related to your niche. So mine is Tulsa, Oklahoma, chiropractors, and chiropractic care. Maybe back pain specialist. Whatever it is, you get the idea. So you put in your keywords related to your niche. So every niche is going to be different. The optional option here, they have a website, and it's optional here because I did not do the upgrade. Now some of these sites, they don't care. It's usually just there. They don't care if you pay or not. The website features there. Everyone's going to be slightly different. the industry. Most of them have an industry column, so this is where you just use your best guess to find how your website applies and fits in. Every one of them I found has slightly different, industry ways they do their industries, and that's okay. So what you're going to do in this case is I'm talking about chiropractors, so it's kind of under health, particular, that's it. I believe, yeah, that's the health niche. Lifestyle, health, and fitness, so that's what I'll put that in there. So whatever niche your business is in, pets, choose that niche. So you know the drill there. Contact information. Put in your name. There you see that's the fictitious name I'm going under here. So you can just plug that in there if you want to as the author. Now in this case, what's great about these sites, if you were to sell this business, you could go down and edit this information. You don't necessarily have to though, but they will publish some of these details. So if you do want to get your name out from under it, you can. Otherwise, you can just leave it out there. So I'm just going to stick my name in there because I'm going to change it to their name whenever I sell this business. So that's what I'm going to do. So you can just plug in your your basic information, your address, and then I like to put my website in down there. So let's just plug in our website again. Let me put in my main address. And you don't have to put in your main address unless they require it, but I just do sometimes because it builds up some credibility. And just plug in your website there. And the reason I'm putting it here instead of up above where it says website is because I didn't upgrade this particular press release, and they'll let you put in that information because they even tell you. So basically just fill out these forms just like, just read through these forms, so they're not rocket science. And when you're done, just choose Submit Press Release. It's going to take just a moment. And notice this site has automatically now been submitted. So here's something that you guys can do right off the bat if you guys want to start getting some results. Now notice, obviously there's going to be ads around here. I was sharing this with somebody once and they were freaking out because there were advertisements around. Well, just like e-zine articles, that's how these sites make their money, so don't worry about it. Your main concern is, the content that people are going to read. So here's the press release right here. Now one thing I want to show you guys is take the, the actual URL and go over and ping the website. So we're going to just go over to pingomatic.com. And we're just going to ping the website here. Now there's really not much of a need with free press release to ping it because they actually ping this thing so quick. Like they must have it set up with their site to already ping as well. So it's going to pick up this content really, really, really fast. And so I'm just pinging it really fast. And that was just at pingomatic.com. So here's our press release, and probably, sometime tomorrow or so, this will probably be indexed more than likely. It might even be indexed in the next, several hours. That's very common with this site. And I'm going to wager a guess that this press release will rank at the top of the search engines. And so you guys can apply the same exact strategy when you're out there submitting press releases. So I'm going to just return to the show here and show you a few more sites to write down and take a look at. So here's a few more sites. Boy, that was really nice of me. Okay, so here's a few more sites to write down. prlog.org, pagerelease.com. That's a new one I actually just came across today. So it looks really good. i-newswire.com, 888 press release, 1-888pressrelease.com, pressreleasespider.com. Those are all really good press release sites to submit to for you. They're free, all of them except for PR Web. But some of them do have a paid option that you could consider. And you can run a Google search for the following phrases to find more PR sites. And that's really how I come across my list of press release sites. Now, I will say I'm going to add in another little deal back there when I stream this video. I'll include for you a list of press release sites so you don't have to bother with going through this mess. So there will be a resource available to you when this video gets posted in the next 24 to 48 hours, just so you guys are aware of that. So type in keywords like free press release distribution, submit press release submission, free press release website, submit press release free. Those kind of keywords are going to give you the best opportunity to find a great number of free press release sites, and there's a core, 50 really good ones. There's literally hundreds of them out there. There's some good ones. What I usually gauge is if I see them on the first 2 or 3 pages of search engines, and I know that if they're all competing for kind of the press release site term, they're sometimes the more high traffic ones anyways, because they rank at the top. Same thing with like article directories, like I shared with you. If you really want to find more article directories, type that in and see what kind of results you get, because they're usually the bigger players when they're starting to show up anyways. Those are your big dogs. So same thing with press release sites. And the ones that I gave you on this page over here, those are some good ones for you to consider as well. So we're just going to jump over here to doing WordPress on SEO. I'm going to take a quick break here, take a quick drink, and let you guys kind of settle your brain and settle all that in. While I get my drink, I'm going to pause it on this slide so you guys can actually see, write down this list of press release sites. Okay, so we are ready to go on WordPress SEO, and then after that we're going to take questions. We're actually doing really good on time. It's here at 9:20 or 10:20 Eastern, so this part won't take as long, but we're just going to cover doing some basic SEO things with your WordPress so that you can have a search engine friendly WordPress page. Now, I recommend WordPress that you install WordPress for really either as your blog platform or as your main website platform. I really don't do any project without using WordPress in some way, and that's because search engines love it. I personally steer clear of Joomla just for the fact that out of the box it's a mess to deal with. It's basically, I've dealt with client sites that are on Joomla. It makes you go way too many steps to make it search engine friendly. The URLs are nasty as all get out. It's just not a good situation. Joomla just They don't care enough, I guess, about the SEO or anything, but WordPress really does a good job of, out of the box, it actually indexes well, even though it's still not all that search engine friendly, but just out of the box with no changes, it does decent for you. So definitely recommend you use WordPress, and one of the more popular uses of it, is like whenever you launch a product page, for example, and you want to add content to it, a lot of people, they have a sales letter, and that's all on their website. So you want to add in a blog to your website. So you want to have like, your, let's say, trafficgenerationblueprints.com/blog. That's something that I would do, when I launch this course out there. And, that's the name of it. So trafficgenerationblueprints.com/blog. And that gives me an opportunity to have like a sales/squeeze page, on the front end, and you aren't just stuck on a one-page site. Because remember, as you will recall at the SEO talk, you're only limited to target so many keyword phrases. So I can't type in, video marketing, press release marketing, article marketing, SEO, training, and all this as one title tag. Those would all be separate posts or articles that I would want to write. Well, as far as managing the content, WordPress is great, and it acts as what's called a CMS, or content management system. So I just recommend just using WordPress, attaching it to your sales page, and it's a great way that you can get some good organic traffic to come to your website. And then on the right hand side, just put a banner to your homepage or sales page or squeeze page, whatever it is, and encourage them to go there. So if somebody finds my blog, let's say I do a post on video marketing online or something, that's the keyword phrase, and somebody types in video marketing online, they come through to trafficgenerationblueprint.com/blog. Now that's not up there, so don't rush out and look at it, but that's how I'm going. I do have the domain, so don't try to buy it, but anyhow, since I have the domain, I just put in the /blog on there, and somebody finds my blog that way, and I have a little banner on the right side because I did good SEO, and they find me for video marketing online. It's just another avenue somebody can come to my website, and it will actually help you out with Alexa, as I've seen with another guy on this call. It gives you a lot of benefits there, and so you definitely want to use WordPress in your business somehow. One thing I love WordPress for is just creating niche affiliate type sites. It's easy to do. Any kind of site, any client I have, I recommend that they use WordPress somehow in their business, and so I recommend you do the same. So here's how to make WordPress search engine friendly once you get it installed and uploaded. So once you get it, download, or basically once you get it uploaded, you're going to want to download the following basic SEO plugins for WordPress, and you're going to want to install them. just so you guys know, so you don't have to sit there and download all these will also be available below the stream, and all these will be up within 24 to 48 hours. So you're going to have the press release little resources plus the SEO plugins I'm talking about here. Now there's a lot more SEO plugins. I know some of you, probably all know of some different ones. I know of some different ones, but these are some of the real basic ones, very basic ones that work well for search engine optimization. Because as it is, WordPress does a good job with SEO. All-in-one SEO, that's the name of the plugin. You're again going to see that in the back end. But if you do want to, if for some reason you guys want to get these all tonight, because it will take me a little bit of time to stream this video, it's a huge file when they're done. But go to Google and type in all-in-one SEO plugin. Go to Google, type in Google Sitemap Generator plugin. Go to Google and type in Sociable plugin, and you'll get the download pages for these. So, but again, I will have the links to these. So download these 3 core plugins. Now, all-in-one SEO is tremendous for SEO because it lets you change your title tags, which again, I keep talking about title tags again. It lets you have a keyword-rich title tag for every single post you make. You can adjust your own title tag because by default, WordPress will actually make your will make your title tag be your article post of your blog. Now, sometimes that's okay, but not all the times, because sometimes a keyword like top 10 ways to get your ex back, for example, that might not be a search phrase people look for, but it's an interesting subject that would bookmark well, meaning people would find it popular in Web 2.0 portals and come through to your site that way. But it may not be basically it might not be the best as far as SEO goes, because a lot of times people may not type in top 10 ways to get your ex back, but they might type in how to get your ex back. So maybe you could, in your title tag, reword it a little bit, so it says how to get your ex back top 10 ways or something, so you're kind of still doing that sales approach I talked about with your title tag before to kind of sell the click. This all-in-one SEO gives you that ability. It gives you the ability to write out your own, your short little meta keywords, the meta description as well. It's so important for SEO. And it has it's just a great plugin to use. The Google Sitemap Generator, this is fabulous. It does a good job of creating the XML sitemaps that search engines love, and even Yahoo and MSN look at these .xml search maps. They call it Google Sitemap Generator, but it works for Yahoo and MSN as well. And you could actually submit this to Google Webmaster Tools. So it's just Google Webmaster Tools if you want. I personally don't do a lot with Google Webmaster Tools. I probably could do more, but basically it doesn't help me get indexed, or not indexed, but the Google Sitemap Generator, having just that sitemap on there will by default help all your pages on your site get indexed, but whether or not you're a member of Google Webmaster Tools, that's not going to impact things or not. But there's multiple uses for it. You can submit this XML sitemap to some different, to MSN's side of things, Yahoo's, Google. Just type in like submit sitemap or submit Yahoo sitemap, submit MSN sitemap or live search sitemap, or submit Google sitemap, something like that, and then submit the generated sitemap they give you. If you aren't even submitting those, at least you're just generating the sitemap using this plugin. It's very easy, and it will basically by default make sure all your posts get indexed, which as it is, WordPress does a great job of making sure your posts are indexed. You usually don't have to worry about it, and WordPress has a really good ping set in there, and I'm actually going to give you guys a ping list as well. Sociable is the other plugin. It's a social Web 2.0 plugin. We have not had a chance yet to really talk much about bookmarking. I've touched on OnlyWire and basically OnlyWire and how to do bookmarking that way, and how to do manual bookmarking with Dig. But Sociable and bookmarking is going to be covered next week as well. But with the Sociable plugin, it basically will enable other users to your website to bookmark your content, or it helps you as you're going through and bookmarking content, whatever the case might be. There's other Web 2.0 plugins out there. I personally like these 3. You guys might have your other opinions, and that's fine. I like these just for basic, getting started out of the box SEO. So what I'm going to show you here is how to go about and actually take these plugins and install them correctly. So I'm actually going to take just a moment and pause the screen and then open up a new window for you guys to take a look at. Okay guys, so what I've got up here on my screen is I've got FileZilla open, and FileZilla is called it's FTP client, which stands for File Transfer Protocol. I'm sure many of you are familiar with FTP by now, but if you're not, if you're just starting out, getting into the web stuff, you can do some research on FTP clients. I would could give you more of an overview of that, but this is more of a traffic course than technical training at this point. But if you guys do have questions on how to use this, feel free to submit a support desk ticket. But I am going to show you live how to use this tool. It's a free FTP client, FileZilla is. I do almost everything, free. I love the free applications. There's no use paying for something. I'd rather spend $70 putting towards a press release on PR Web than I would spending on another FTP client kind of deal. So this one's free. Type in FileZilla into Google, and you will find the download page for it. So once you download FileZilla, you're just going to install it just like you would install Microsoft Word or any other program on your computer. You just download it, click on the executable file, go through the on-screen instructions, and it's set up. And what you're going to do then, once you're inside there, it's going to ask you for your host name, your username, your password, and your port. And all this data is typically going to be provided by your hosting company. I know especially if you have HostGator is hosting your site, or Bluehost or one of them, they do a good job of emailing you your information or making it easily accessible. Typically, it'll be like the password you use to log into your cPanel, control panel. If you are hosted with them, you'll know what I mean by cPanel. When you're logged into your cPanel, that's usually the password that works right here. But if you need to call them, I know HostGator, Bluehost have 24-hour support. Some other hosting companies have support tickets. You can submit to them and say, I need my FTP information. Can you help me with that? Most of this data could also be found inside your control panel, which most hosting companies should have, under the FTP area. So you're just going to put in that information. And you should have downloaded at this point, downloaded the plugins that I actually am going to give you guys, or that you found online. You should have downloaded them to your actual computer. And what you're going to do then is they're going to come to you looking kind of like this. They're going to be a zip file with a little zipper on it. And so you can just right click and choose extract all. And again, I just use what my computer gives me. There's no need to have a special extracting program or something. You don't even need WinZip. Contrary to popular demand, you can just right click and extract these files. And that's what I prefer to do, because again, it's free and I don't have to install software. So I just right click and choose extract all, and it extracts the plugin. So what you're going to do when it extracts them is sometimes it will, depending on where you download the plugin from, but it's going to actually give you the plugin. It might put the plugin to what's called, what I call a subfolder. So for example, like this plugin right here that I just did, notice how if I click here, notice how it brings up another folder, and puts it right there. You're going to want to actually take it out of the subfolder. So you're going to want to take this little folder and move it, so I just like to highlight it and I copy it, and I'll just move it out over here to this one. Copy and paste it out of there and replace that one. And the reason you do that, because WordPress typically won't read that internal folder, and so so that's the best bet, especially with these three plugins, so that in case you run into that, that's what the issue is. And again, if you have questions on these plugins, just let me know. But once you've extracted the plugins, you're just going to log into your hosting account. So I'm going to go ahead and log in here, and we're going to go right on over to the website that we're working on, the Tulsa, Oklahoma Chiropractor site. So let's just jump right down here. And go ahead and choose WP-content. WP-content, that's the folder you're going to go for your WordPress. So you're going to go to WP-content, and you are going to choose plugins. Once you've selected plugins, you're going to notice I've already uploaded these three basic ones, but I'll show you the process just so you guys know how it works. Basically, you just take this. You want to just make sure that the files are all there. But you just highlight it. You can right click and choose upload, or you could take this file and you could actually drag it over here if you wanted to. That's another option. Or you could highlight using the control key, highlight whichever ones you want to upload. So notice how I just did that. Or you could just do control A, and that'll highlight all of them, and then you could right click and upload all of those if you wanted to. So that's an idea. I'm just going to take another one here and just plug it in. Google Analytics is another plugin you need, but as I'll cover next week, we're going to go into that a little more in depth. And you don't necessarily have to have their plugin. I actually find it's just as easy to copy and paste their code on there. But just so you guys see how it uploads, and then it gives you a little status thing down here. But once you've uploaded the plugin, you're ready to go. And the same thing will apply if you happen to download a WordPress theme. Just on kind of a side note, you're going to upload that to the themes folder. Whoops. So you're actually going to upload that to the themes folder by double-clicking on themes. So that's how you go about doing that, and then I just hit that red X to clear out of there, and we're going to minimize this screen, and we're going to just jump right into the website now. So I'm going to go right on over here to the website. So you see on my screen now, I'm in the WP-admin is where I went to, so it's your website, wherever your blog is. So in most cases it's yourwebsite.com/blog/WP-admin, depending on how you set up your blog. And you're just going to go there and you're just going to log in. Now I'm using RoboForm. It really helps me speed up the process. It's a tool I recommend you guys get for a lot of this SEO and link building and submission type work. It really will help you out a ton. So go ahead, once you log in here, you're going to be looking for the plugins folder in particular. So in this example, I'm going to be looking for plugins over here on the left-hand side. And what you're going to notice here is, let me just deactivate these for you guys so you guys see exactly how it's going to look for you. So okay, so you're over here and yours is going to say, recently active, or it'll just say, your plugin options when you first install them. And you're just going to choose activate your plugin. So just click on activate right there. It's very easy, very basic process. So what you're going to do, you first upload the plugins. If the plugins show up here, it means they were installed correctly. And then you just choose activate the plugins. And so that is that step. So you need to install and activate these 3 core plugins that I'm talking about. So the next step is you're going, and you guys kind of can sneak ahead there. So we're going to go right on to setting up your permalinks. So your permalinks is kind of how your URL structure is going to look, and that's an important search engine optimization factor. So I'm over here on WordPress, and here you can take a look at the back end here. The left side under settings is where you're going to go to do your permalink. So it's the left hand side is where you're going to do everything in WordPress 2.7, and you're going to choose permalinks. So in this case I'm going to just select permalinks down here on the left hand side, and what you're going to choose is actually custom structure. Custom structure, and this is the exact string you're going to type in here. / percentage sign, which you get by hitting Shift and the number 5 key at the top of your keyboard. Type in the word post name, Shift percentage sign / and then what you're going to do after that is choose Save Changes, and your permalinks are going to be set up correctly now. So again, it's / it's custom structure, so it's settings on the left hand side, permalinks, custom structure, / percentage sign, post name, percentage sign / And what this is going to do for you, it's going to make your links, so it's going to take actually the title of your post, and it's going to actually turn them into what's called a permalink. And it's really a good search engine friendly thing, because by default most of your posts will have your keyword in there, and it's just another thing. It just puts nice little dashes between each word, and it does a tremendous job of making your blog search engine friendly. So at this phase you should have installed and activated the plugins and should have gone through with your permalink. So we're just going to go on to the next step here. So the next thing that you're going to do in this process is you want to set up what's called a ping list. So you want to set up so that every time you make a post, it will automatically do pinging for you. Now they automatically set up that site Ping-O-Matic.com that I was showing you. They automatically have that actually queued up. So whenever, I'm assuming that Ping-O-Matic is the same way, but WordPress automatically has it queued up to where whenever you make a new post of any sort, it will automatically go out and ping that, ping the website so that it tells those blog and ping places that your site has been updated and modified. So they'll go in and update their little databases. And that helps you get spiders, activities to your site. It helps with indexing. I can make blog posts and with literally hours have that blog index, and sometimes minutes you can have new blog posts indexed using a nice ping list, which I do actually provide for you guys, a ping list, and so I'll show you how to set up your ping list. So what you're going to do right back over here under settings, you're going to choose writing, and then you're going to scroll down under writing to where it says update services, and you're going to see here it's going to say Ping-O-Matic, and you would actually, if you want to, I've got a larger ping list, you could actually just take that ping list and just copy and paste it right in here in the update services area. So that's how another great way you can make WordPress 2.7 and WordPress search engine friendly. More search engine friendly because it helps get spider bots back to your site. It just helps get your, every time you submit, it will ping it to 10 or 12 different pinging sites that will then again ping it out to who knows how many sites. You get a lot of pings, a lot of activity on your site, and there's a list that I will provide for you that's a great list. All you're going to do with this list is take it and copy and paste it right in here, over this Ping-O-Matic URL. So you would just highlight this one or just delete it and then paste in whatever I have. And then when you're done with these changes, just choose Save Changes. So again, at this phase now, you should have gone in and set up your permalinks, installed and activated your plugins, and then the next thing you should have done is set up that ping list, fix the permalinks, and then there's one final step I'll show you here in a second. Okay, so the final step, and I'm just going to make you come back here to take a look at it, is to set up your all-in-one SEO plugin. This is and your other plugins. So you want to now set up your other plugins. So downloading them and installing them by uploading them, that's one thing. Now, if you're going to be doing several WordPress sites, I just like creating a folder called like WordPress plugins and themes, just so you know it. So then you can just automatically reference that folder and jump right in there. But basically, you want to set up your all-in-one SEO now. So what you're going to do that is go back to the blog. So I'm just going to head back there. And we're going to go back to the WordPress 2.7 view, and you're going to select under settings. You're actually going to see where it has your different blogs set up. So you're going to see all-in-one SEO right there. And in this case, what it's going to do is give you, it's going to tell you the home title. And this is where you type in your nice search engine friendly title tag, where you include your keywords there, and this is just for your home page. And then it's going to tell you your home description. So you're going to say find a trusted Tulsa, Oklahoma chiropractor, and that's like your meta description. And then you plug in your meta keywords. You only need to do this once, or unless you decide to update your title tags, you can go back in here. And I just keep their default settings where it says post title format. I usually take off where it says blog title. So there's a little dash in the middle, or a up and down line in the middle. I'll take that out and just leave post title, and I'll do the same for page title. And so that means that the post title, or basically whatever's set inside there for the post, is going to be the title tag. Now, basically all-in-one SEO, and I'll show you in a second, whenever you're making posts, will enable you to create your own unique title tags at the bottom of your post. So go ahead and choose update options after that, because I just leave everything else the same, and that's easy enough. Now, still going on about all-in-one SEO, when you're adding your new content to WordPress, what you're going to see back here is back here when you make your post, you type in your post. So we'll just say test post, and you want to just say this is a test. So you put in your post, you copy and paste it however you do it. Put in your tags for your post. That's a good thing, search engine friendly thing to do. Whatever, tags, keywords related to your post, put that in there. And then scroll down until you see, it say all-in-one SEO. Now, one thing you can do with WordPress 2.7 if you want to is you can actually take and grab this, and you could actually drag it up here so it's a little more accessible for you, which I would recommend doing because you're going to use it a lot. And then you just type in your title tag. So, for example, this title tag is test post, but if I wanted to make my title tag keyword rich, for something related to test post, so this is a test, might be my keyword phrase, and I know that's a really poor example, so let's use something different like weight loss tips, and so you kind of see the difference. And let's say that your post happens to do with top 25 weight loss resources. Maybe that's your article. And top 25 type articles, like I mentioned last week, do really well. Any kind of top type article does a great job. But so for example, top 25 weight loss resources may not be a searched for phrase, but weight loss tips might be better searched for. Weight loss resources, weight loss tips, weight loss information. So you guys get the idea. Using the AdWords keyword tool, you can identify the core keywords related to your article, use those in the title, create yourself a nice, solid, unique meta description, sell them on the click in that meta description and include that keyword, and then put in your keyword tag right there. And then that's where you have all-in-one SEO all set up. The final thing you're going to do then is go in and we're just going to navigate away from that page. Go right on over to settings again, and this time you're going to just choose sociable one more time. And inside sociable, you could actually set this up differently if you want to. Like for example, there's some different things inside sociable that people use a little more frequently, that might relate to your site. So like if you have a business site, you might offer a LinkedIn option on there because that might help build some credibility that way. You might offer a Twitter option, so you just look around here for Tumblr, for twit this, so that's one I want to add. So I could just click on that because I want to add it. And then you could choose Save Changes. And notice how it brought that up there. And let's say that I want to get rid of Spin, which that one's actually good. Facebook, Dig. Let's say I want to get rid of Google. Their bookmarking tool isn't that great right now. I decide. So let's just plug that in, and let's say that we want to grab another popular one, like let's say, let's just use live.com, MSN's logo, or let's use the LinkedIn logo. And Mr. Wong, he's a good one. There we go. So we'll use Mr. Wong and LinkedIn. Mr. Wong gives you Mr. Wong's a good one to write back, so he does give you a good search engine friendly backlink to your site that they can follow, no problem. So there you go, Dig, Spin, Delicious. And then if you wanted to reorder these, you could certainly do that. So let's say that you want to drag this and reorder these. Excuse me, it is not letting me do that. But you should be able to drag and order those if you want to. But that's how you set up your sociable. And then the next thing with your Google XML sitemaps, you're just going to go over here to XML sitemap. And you just need to do this once, but it says the sitemap wasn't built yet. And it says click here to build it for the first time. I'm not going to do that because I don't have content on here. But that's how you set up your XML sitemaps. That's in the left-hand side under settings. And you can watch this video as many times as you need to go back through. So